Hello and welcome to this brand new episode of learning about how to build business. And my name is Kashyap. I'm the founder of the 10 Crore Club. The reason why we do this episode is because many times we are very busy building our business and we forget a lot of fundamentals. And I've seen a lot of my clients struggle because they realize about these aspects very late in their process. By the time it is too late. Now, when we're building the business, we're talking about building a scalable business. There are a lot of fundamentals that need to be taken care of. Now, in today's episode, I'm going to bring to us today our guest. He's Advocate Dhiraj, and we're going to discuss about a very important topic about what is trademarks and why it is important. Now, before I bring him onto the panel, let me tell you about my own quick journey about trademarks. So we started this Tenko Club with a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of support that nothing wrong can happen in 2019. And everything was going fine. We had a lot of online presence. And COVID happened, of course. And then the big hit happened for me. The big hit was someone in Mumbai claimed that she is the founder of the 10 Crore Club. She is the founder of 10 Crore Club. And of course, I was really angry. I was frustrated. But then I realized that is there something beyond getting angry? Can I do something about this? That's where I started researching about this trademark. In fact, she actually asked me, do you have a trademark on this? Right. So these people have done research. They've stolen the origin story. They've stolen everything. And I was losing customers. And that's when I applied my trademark. And after I got the trademark, the whole world changed. So I'll tell you quickly about more about how the trademark changed my life, and also how I was able to fight with the likes of YouTube, LinkedIn, and many other players because of the simple certificate I was able to acquire. So let me bring to you Advocate Dhiraj. Welcome to the show, Dhiraj.
Thanks, Kashyap. Thanks for having me.
So Dhiraj, for people who are startups, who are starting up, or who may already be running a business, um, they think danda chal raha hai, it is fine and nothing wrong can happen. What wrong can happen? I've been in business for 10 years, 12 years. What can go wrong?
Okay,
Why should
so
they?
from
Yeah.
yes, yes, from a trademark perspective, in fact, we all have our names, and in fact, the business also has a name. That's why people generally used to have a very common names. That's one way of looking at it. The other way of looking at is building a brand. So when we talk about startups or even corporates for that matter, we spend a lot of time, energy, in fact, so much in marketing with respect to the brand promotion and everything. So let's take a scenario where we do a lot of marketing, and somehow without our knowledge we are promoting someone else, right? So that's
Mm.
the significance, I would say it. And when it comes to the startup, it's much more because startups generally have some funding requirement. They will have their own IP apart from patents, trademarks or something. And they also want to have, now a lot of AI related startups are coming up. And it's all about the name. Let's say in fact, I would just give a small example of a Swiggy versus GoDaddy. I think this is a little bit deviation from what you mentioned. So what happens is the Delhi High Court, what they said is GoDaddy is, as you know, is the domain provider. So many companies can actually basically I can say swiggy.in, swiggy.org, swiggy.io, anything like that I can get it. So Swiggy, since they had a trademark, they said that nobody else can use the alphabets SWIGGY in this particular order, and basically they got a stay order against GoDaddy. So what I'm trying to say here is we own a brand, and we have to use the brand. And when we have a brand, it talks about two things. Number one, whether I have the right to use it. Let's say I have a brand, but before me, you started using the brand. Someone has been using that particular name for the past 10 years. Now, what if the other person comes and tells me that I've been running the startup for the past 3 4 years? Suddenly, that other company who has been running for the 10 years comes and tell me that you should not use this brand. Whatever efforts that I put in, the marketing expenditure, the time spent, all the efforts completely futile. And we basically end up getting into a legal battle. I mean, kind of draining the core business activity and what do you say, the future of, and the branding is, we call it as a simple name, but when it comes to the market promotion, it's a big activity, and creating awareness, transition of the loyal customers, it takes time. So I hope I given a glitch. What do you say?
Yeah,
Uh, yes.
yeah,
So a
very
quick
true.
recap of
Yes,
this thing.
a lot of times people think I went to GoDaddy, bought my domain, and therefore I own it. I registered. I have this. I even registered with the registrar with that name, company name, and therefore I am the company. And is there a link between the name of the company and the trademark?
Yes, I would say that's kind of a common myth with respect to what people understand from online, or they have their own perception, I would put it. So, registering with MCA, or as we call it, Ministry of Corporate Affairs. So, basically, you get a company name. So, that is one. And domain is something, basically, you get a particular URL, so that you own, as simple as that. So that if the person comes to that particular hyperlink, they come to the database or the front page of what you have built, as simple as that. But when it comes to a trademark, basically it's the brand. So uh, it, just to give a quick recap of what the brand is. So brand is always the source of the particular origin of a particular product or service. So in fact, it's been existing all along from, I would say, 1800s and things like that. So let's say now we have Apple, right? So we know that if the particular brand exists, we know that the origin of the product is from that particular company. Similarly, let's say a particular service, a particular doctor, or any other service, let's say Infosys, right? So when they provide a service, when I say this brand, I'm getting a service from this brand, I am assured of a particular quality, particular quantity, particular USP. It talks about multiple things. Basically, multiple things refer to only one particular aspect, which is the source.
Hmm.
I can simply ask put as a, let's say in the particular village, that particular doctor is well known. If you go and get a treatment from him, you will get cured. That's a brand,
Right.
right? So
Absolutely.
basically, that's also the source.
Hmm. And in the beginning of this show, I said about my struggle of getting my trademark, and after that, what happened after that is a lot of people don't know that there was someone who was giving away this crore club awards and this 10 crore club awards, and I asked him to like stop, and then this person said, "Hey, no, I can continue doing it because it's so generic." Right, so you cannot argue with people who are, because if you don't have a certificate in your hand, there is nothing that you can argue upon. Now since I had the certificate, I was able to sue Google, YouTube, LinkedIn, wherever this was going on, and the certificate was so powerful, they had no option but to take it down. Even I could go to the police station because I had the power of certificate, and that is the whole power of owning a brand, right? Because if you going back to my situation, if imagine like I built all this for 10 crore club or whatever the name is, and what are the name that customers build their whole, putting all their investment or all that time, sweat, etc., built for 6 7 years, and then someone says, hey, I own the 10 crore club brand or whatever the brand name is, you no longer can use it. You no
Exactly.
longer can use it. You must call yourself not 10 crore club. You must call it ABCD club, right? It completely changes the nature of our work, and completely, because there is so much of association. That means the customers will go away. The whole effort and the whole legacy is taken away by the customers, right? And
Exactly.
uh, I'm saying because I think we discussed also, Dheeraj, when we got reconnected, is because one of the customers that we are working with is also going through a similar situation, isn't it, Dheeraj?
Yes, I totally agree. I totally agree. See, so that's where basically what happens is the customer get in a way they are not sure about the source of this particular brand or a particular product or a service. They assume something. Okay, let's say I am starting a company by let's say Nike. So I am basically piggybacking on a brand that has already been built. So trademark, as I put it, basically it's of twofold. One, I have the right to use, so that nobody else can come tomorrow and tell me that I cannot use this going forward, and I cannot use a. Basically, it's an infringement. So other right that is very important is I have the right to stop others from using my particular brand. That's very important because I have spent so much time, I have spent so much marketing expenditure, I have put so much of budget towards the marketing and towards building this particular brand. Someone is just using the name and he is getting all the customer base, at least some portion of it, right? So, in fact, I totally agree with you. In fact, just to add to the points that you mentioned, let's say it's a product, right? Let's say I have a particular ABC logo, and someone is basically, we call that, let's say in this case, violation when it comes to the intellectual property, we call it as infringement, right? So if there is a trademark infringement, so what happens is when we go to the court, so there are different remedies available against the trademark. One is we can basically ask the court to stop him from further using that particular brand, number one. Number two, whatever goods that has been produced or which where there is the particular brand that is being used, all those products can be seized, and it can be stopped from being circulated. And whatever revenue that he has earned, whatever profits that I should have earned, he has piggybacked on my brand and he started earning those profits. So all those profits that he has to compensate me apart from the regular compensation.
Hmm.
So that way, I would say the trademark infringement is quite stringent, and as long as we are vigilant about people, I mean, number one, getting the trademark in the first place. Number two, being vigilant with respect to the infringement that is being done across by the other players in the market of, I would say, more particularly on the similar industry. So once we act on that, that's where I think all this activity towards protecting the brand and acting towards it and enforcing the right comes into the picture. Like, I mean, in fact, what you did is really great, because once you are in a business and you allow someone to use it, and the moment you confront saying that I have a certificate, you do not have, and you have to stop from using it, they fear a legal battle. So
Hmm.
without that particular certificate, they said, okay, you use, I also use. You do not have any proof. I mean, basically, there is nothing in law that stops me. But once you have a certificate, there is a law that stops you.
Correct, absolutely. And very important is, when we are running business, especially in this age of internet, we need
Right.
to understand what is intellectual property. What is it? What is it when it comes to business? What is it that we own? It is not about your computer. It is not about ABCD assets that you see in front of you. It is a lot of things beyond it. There is something called intellectual capital that you must protect. And one of the mistakes that a lot of founders do is they're not vigilant. They're not vigilant, isn't it?
True.
Uh,
Very.
that they have the trademark, but they're not enforcing it. They're expecting that there is some agency, some police is going to protect them and all that, right?
Yes, yes. So,
I Yeah.
so what happens is, unfortunately, business spends so much time. They do a lot of research, R&D. It goes, in fact, I would say, years itself. But what happens is, they fear the legal process, the timeline, the cost, and somewhere they lose the ownership of their intellect. So let's say you have a property, right? So now this is your something like your property, but this is your intellectual property. I put it that way. So just to give a heads up, there are different types of intellectual property. It could be related to patent, basically an invention. It could be a copyright. Let's say the video that we are creating. It could be the again a copyrighted document of 10 crore club, right? So now similarly for trademark, every business when they have their own name, they deal with their own customers. They are promoting their brand and the customers are knowing about it, and they will refer this particular brand to the others, right? That's a trademark. Similarly, there are multiple, I would say, designs, geographical indication, multiple. But I think for the business viewers here, I think we will restrict to trademark. So just to give a very small example. In fact, this is very interesting. So what happened is this is coffee commercial. A particular a company created a coffee commercial. The aroma, the flavor, what do you say, that decoction, everything. He did everything. Basically, he spent quite some amount, right? So in the end, this particular person who infringed, he just changed the logo. As simple as that. So I mean, so the originally whoever created could have spent say approximately 30,000 or even 1 lakh, whatever it is. The other person, what he did is what you say is a free tool of image editor.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
similarly, now we have a lot of Telegram related channels. Similarly, again, this is relating to the copyright. So there's a lot of paid I would say a lot of paid tutorials or learning sessions. So in Telegram, there are people who are kind of promoting these kind of paid videos completely free. So they get a lot of subscribers out of it. So this is also a major infringement that's happening. So now, once we have, let's say, copyright certificate or a trademark certificate, we can approach, let's say, if it is uploaded in Google or YouTube or let's say Facebook, we as a right with this certificate proving which is the evidence of your ownership, we can ask the Telegram, the YouTube or Facebook or any other platform to remove the content. We have that right. Otherwise, they may choose to ignore our request.
Correct.
So that way, this plays a very, very important role in kind of protecting our right, our business, and I would say our loyal customer base. In fact, it should protect our own customers because the customers or the clients, they come to us believing or hearing about us saying that I would get this quality of service. This is the quality of the service that I would get, and these ABCD are the things that I can expect from him. We have a testimonial. So and so has referred. So let's say the customer goes to the some other person who is infringing your brand, and again the same customer will be having a very bad experience, and he is going to spread that name. Now just see who is going to be in loss,
Hmm. Right. I
right?
mean, we have seen that, right? We have seen that, like, that this person goes to another similar sounding, uh, you know, a setup, a business, similar sounding, and he gets confused. So, what are the different terms, like, when it comes to infringement? I know there are plenty of cases, right? There is this Ruh Afza case. Then there is this Anthropic case recently. Anthropic. There is this, there was a software company with the names Anthropic.
Slot.
So why don't we get into the nuances of what is infringement? And because imagine someone is running this business for, let's say, for 4 5 years, and they may not have thought about, hey, I might be running a digital marketing agency. Hey, I might be running a manufacturing setup. So far, nobody has come to question. uh, I might be using, let's say, Apple hardware, whatever I might be calling. Nobody asked me so far because I was doing local business.
Yes.
And what are the steps that they need to take to protect themselves? What is it that they can do? Because can they go back in time and probably file something? And what are the things that they
I'll just give a small example. When you told about that particular scenario, I just got reminded of one mark that we supported. So what happened is, uh, this is a mark which the organization has been using for quite some time. I would say for the past 15 years. And unfortunately, or I would say very planned activity, someone asked for the exact same name. They have filed a trademark and they got a certificate, trademark certificate in their name. And they have been operation for the past 2 years. I'm talking about a 15 years company which chose or which was not aware of something called as trademark or brand protection, right? And the other company who was aware of this trademark, they went ahead, they got the trademark in their certificate in that particular name. And if I go to the Google and type the particular name of the organization, all the data that I get is relating to the basically my client, right?
Hmm.
But uh, when I'm sorry about that. So what happens is he is now asking the opposite person who has been running the business for the past 2 years. He is asking this company to stop using the name And if they want to use the name, he wants a big. I mean, he wants a big number.
Loyalty, something.
No, not
Lo- lo-
loyalty.
lo-
He is ready to basically sell the trademark. Basically, that organization has to buy it out from him.
but he doesn't own it at all, right? That's the whole problem here.
You know, he owns it. That there is a trademark certificate which says that he owns it.
Huh, huh.
But this organization, which has been using that name for the past 15 years, right? So now they have to purchase their own brand from a different person. Of course, we applied for the trademark and we proved it with documentation saying that we have been running the business. There's a lot. I mean, there was a lot of activity that has been happening in the organization, starting from awards. Even it was come out in the newspaper. They were dealing with the government, so that way we had the enough evidence and we brought it to everything, and we also got a trademark. Now the point is, now I am forced to share the particular trademark with the other company who has practically
Stolen.
not doing anything with that particular name.
Hmm.
In fact, I would say that this is a very big scam. I would put it. I don't know if you have noticed. Let's say you go to GoDaddy, you search for a particular name, and you get some catchy name. And the moment you forget to renew or something like that, people are ready to sell it for couple of lakhs. Generally, you can buy it for something like couple of hundreds. But if it's a very catchy name, somebody would have purchased it and blocked it.
Hmm. Like it was geohotstar.com.
Yes, yes. So, so those kind of activity, unfortunately,
Okay, I think there is a internet issue on. Okay, now you're back. Yeah, you can continue. Dheeraj. Yes.
we have to be a little more vigilant and better to have the mark handy rather than kind of getting into some trouble and being at the mercy of someone else or buying our own name from somebody else.
Right,
So
and also ignorance is not acceptable, right? Like, oh, I was not aware of it. Oh, I thought I will do it later. Oh, it doesn't protect, right? Because there is no way. I mean, that like you gave example of your client who has been running this business for 15 years, and he was not vigilant enough that he saw. I mean, someone else registered his trademark, and
yes,
there is no way that he can cancel that to the second party, right? There's no way that he can do anything about it. Once it is registered, it is registered.
it is
There is nothing
registered.
called hey, and I was a first user. It is not like you claim. Uh, there is nothing that you can do.
That's a completely different process, and that's not something a business would generally act on unless there's a huge stake around it. So I totally agree, and ignorant. There's a legal maxim which says that ignorance of law is not an excuse, right?
Hmm.
So I mean, to put it in a very light note, I cannot steal something from you and say that I didn't know there's a law around it, right? So as simple as that. So ignorance of law is never an excuse, and we cannot put it that way. And generally, it's not appreciated in the court, or in fact, even the trademark or by anyone, I would say.
Right. So the problem with startups is, as startups, the biggest problem is cash. They don't have enough money to run the show. And setting up the business itself is a big step, like registering it, be it like private limited or partnership, and then they ignore this part, that hey, let the company run. I have the domain, I have the logo, I've created this logo, and then after 1 year time I'll do it. It's a blunder, right? Basically, it's
Yes, in fact, see what happens is the moment we get a, I totally agree with you. So when it comes to the business, they look at minimalistic compliance, they look at minimalistic expenditure. They want to basically, they are very cost effective to put it that way. So they don't want to shell anything, and it's totally understandable. But the moment there is going to be a paid customer, the business has no option, I would say. In fact, that's a bigger risk that they are taking. So one is, in fact, I would say starting from GST, starting from, I would say registration of a LLP or even MSME. So they should have some form of a basic organization, some basic form of contracts. In fact, I have seen multiple organizations fail miserably when it comes to entering into a contract because they are getting some contracts from ChatGPT or Google, so as to put it. What I'm trying to say here is they are trying to be very, very cost effective. But tomorrow, let's say there is going to be some lacuna or some misunderstanding, right? The cost is going to be huge. Now we are talking about few thousands, and we have to look at a scenario where it's going to have a value of lakhs and crores. That's the way I see it. So similarly, coming back to the same example of a trademark, now it could be a very, very small figure when it comes to filing a trademark or following up with it. But tomorrow, let's say we have a paid customer and the customer is going and they are giving bad reviews because of someone else is using it. Now, what is the cost? Ascertaining that cost itself is not so easy, I would say.
Yeah.
So I would say it's something like a legal compliance mechanism checklist that every organization should have to ensure that when they do business, they do it as a business, not like a hobby.
Correct. So, and it is even the short way of putting it is a must do. If you are really serious about growing a certain brand, own it by paying for it, register it because that's the best way to do it. And of course, not every brand, I mean everything that you launch, you may give it a name, but as much as possible, please as soon as possible own it. And coming back to my story, when told this gentle woman in Mumbai who copied called herself the founder of 10 Crore Club. In fact, copied the whole story of how she started, how she was even giving interviews online, and I could not do anything about it. And I'll tell you what happened after that. After I got the certificate, this was after like 1.5 year. It takes time to get the certificate, right? After I got the certificate, it gave me a weapon for the first time, and I hunted her technical. I really hunted her. So first of all, she changed it to some other name, similar sounding name, and I
Okay.
was so smart that I said, look, nothing should sound similar to my name at all, completely.
Yes.
So I mean, see, this is a power, right? The power of owning a trademark, isn't it? Now, now let's talk about similar sounding names and how a registry is. Okay, I think your internet issue. So let us wait. Okay, now he's back. So now let us talk. Yeah. So let us talk about similar sounding names, Dheeraj,
Mhm. Yes.
and the confusion. Like, how is a registry looking at when it comes to taking an application, and what is the
Okay.
process of applying? Um, it should be exactly same or should be similar. Like what is confusion part of it? What is not confusion part of it? Let's talk about it.
Okay. Okay. Both are completely different questions, so I'll take one at a time. And so, yes, phonetically similar means the name that sounds very, very similar. Let's
Hmm.
say, I mean, Adidas, Abibas, and I mean, basically, there is something called as deceptively similar. Uh, Common Kadi, Khadi, Kadhi. So basically, they change the spelling. They do the same. So it will, when you hear it, it will basically be exactly the same. There are different ways of looking at it. So we have to look into all those aspects. So let me just take you through the process so that we know how exactly it operates. So the moment we apply with the trademark registry, so what happens is the government, the trademark registry of that being particularly what it does is it basically looks into the two main aspects. I'm talking about the fundamentals, so I'm making keeping it as simple as possible. So it basically looks at two major aspects. One is it is not something that is very, very common. So let's say I'm an advocate, right? So I cannot say the best advocate company. I cannot own that particular brand as a company name because every company would be talking or trying to have that particular name. It doesn't create any separate identity for the public to recognize me as a source, right? So that way it will the registry will say, no, this is not acceptable. This is a very, very common name, and anyone can basically have it. There's no uniqueness towards it, and therefore I will not grant you, right? So the name of our firm is Law versus Law, right? So if someone else, let's say somebody else is already owning that particular brand, right, and I'm applying it now, tomorrow the trademark registry will come and say somebody else is already owning this. If you are going to own this, you basically create a confusion to the public whether this particular brand is owned by you or the other person. So tell me why I should grant this particular mark to you. That will be something like we call it as an examination report. So we get that report. Once we get that, we file a written reply, and once we file a written reply, there's also a oral argument that happens, right? So once we do that, post that, well, let's say we are able to convince the registry that this is very, very unique, and I am not copying someone who's already existing, and mine can be very much differentiated from the marks that is already existing in the market. Then what I actually do is, then the trademark registry accepts it. There's an order towards that, and they publish it in something called as trademark journal. Basically, this is the journal where all the marks are being published before it is being granted the trademark certificate. So, me as a trademark owner or the owner of a particular brand or business or anything, I am expected to look into these journal on a regular basis, and if someone in any way phonetically similar, deceptively similar, the color, the combination, the words, what do you say, anywhere, if we believe that it is something that affects my brand or my uniqueness of the brand, if he is going to copy me in any way whatsoever, and I have an objection towards that, then I can, as an individual or as a business, I can file an opposition saying that this particular mark should not be granted registration. Then again, for that particular opposition that basically comes, if I'm going to file and somebody else already owns it, they will file an opposition against me. And let's say I'm owning that particular brand and somebody has filed a particular application that is very similar or deceptively similar, phonetically similar, anything of that sort, then I file an opposition saying that this particular brand should not be granted trademark. So once I do that, again there would be submission from both the sides. They will basically hear the oral arguments of both the sides and post detailed, I would say, arguments from both the ends. The trademark registry will decide whether to grant patent or not. It all depends on the documentation, the merit of that particular case, which we cannot comment on a very generic basis.
Yep, yep. And also,
Once that is
yeah.
done, certificate is granted. Yes.
So that is a process, right?
Yes.
And for any business, the nature of business is they want to grow. That means they want to open multiple branches, they want to open multiple franchise outlets. So when someone is small, everything is happening at home, everything is happening well, I don't know do anything about it,
Yes.
and it takes, let's say, after 5 years time, 10 years time, now there is this pressure to expand, because there is no, I mean, if a business is not expanding, of course it is dying, right? So of course, when that time of expansion comes, then founders start looking up, oh, I want to expand. The problem will be that, hey, in this city I'm famous, in
Yes.
this city this brand is famous.
Yes.
Now if I want to go to Hyderabad, if I want to go to Chennai, if I want to open in outside somewhere else, then my brand is not unique.
Yes.
I might be Karachi bakery. I might be the famous Karachi bakery from Hyderabad, but nobody may know about me. Imagine nobody knows me in Bangalore.
Yes.
That's when they, think about, oh, I should now register the trademark. And what if God forbid there was already some sort of not a Karachi bakery, but Karachi biscuit bakery or something.
Yes.
It happens
Yes.
often, isn't it?
Very,
It-
very, very, very practical. I totally agree. Let's say now we have Dindukkal Tarapakati biryani, right? So now I would say in a way that we are in a global village, and when a particular brand gets a mark, and let's say I'm coming to Karachi and I know, like for example, Coimbatore A1 chips. right? I'm just giving some examples of localized businesses, but the the crowd, the people are basically floating. And when they look at the name, they relate it to us, they relate to the source, and they want to try. And tomorrow, if I'm going to start a new branch, or let's say the best case scenario is the franchise. Let's say somebody likes me, my business model, I want to kind of expand with least investment. Of course, I'll go for a franchise. Now, when it comes to the franchise, again, how the logo has to be used, or what should be the promotion towards that, how do you promote locally, all those things, once it is done, this particular brand, the very McD, right? So they have a brand, and to get a franchise, it cost a bomb, right? So once we are able to set up a business, and that's the two business that works great and that is highly profitable, revenue generating, and we are able to scale it up by way of a franchise or branch, right? So having a brand gives you an additional power, one, ensuring that nobody else uses it, and now we can actually scale it up with a
We
level
can
of
sell. See,
confidence.
yeah, yeah. When they're selling franchise, they're selling the
Name.
ownership of the trademark, isn't it?
Yes.
That is what they're selling.
Yes. So see,
Mm.
that's what. Okay. I partially agree with you. In fact, I more than 50% I agree with you. One, mainly they are selling that brand name. Basically, they can use the name. So what happens is, with that name, there's a lot of condition that comes in. Let's say McD, they are giving only the name, but with that name, the kind of power it has, the bun has to be like this. It has to be heated in this particular temperature for this many minutes. So basically, I ensure that my customer who comes into the buying this particular product or service has this particular quality and quantity of the product, or this particular experience. So I define the brand experience. So I give guidelines of how to do, what to do, and how to ensure that my brand, when I'm franchising, it should not deteriorate. It should basically increase, right? So with that particular brand, I also get the power to dictate terms to the person who's taking the franchise from me. Otherwise, he will start something and he will do something else.
Correct, absolutely. So people who are watching this, if you have questions, you can ask us live right now, and even if it is recorded, we will definitely, whichever platform you're watching it on, YouTube or LinkedIn or Facebook, wherever you're watching this, um, type in the chat box or in the comment section. We will definitely answer it offline as well. Now, so Dheeraj, so now when someone wants to get started, what is the first thing that they need to look at?
I'm sorry, I didn't get the question. Can you please repeat?
So when they want to get started with this whole process of trademark,
Yes.
where should they start, and what is the first step they should take to
Yes.
set up their yeah.
Yeah, thanks for that great question. In fact, before applying for the trademark, someone has to check if the name is unique enough.
Oh yes, fantastic. Right. So yeah, because I bought the domain, I set up the whole website, and then I look for the trademark. It's not right.
No, that's not the right way, because the first thing that people spend months to decide the name. Frankly, when they want to start a business, it doesn't come, okay, yesterday I thought I should do a business and today I'm starting. No, people actually take a lot of time to think about the business model, revenue model, the name, the concept, the logic behind having the name, right? There's a lot of thought process that goes around it. We have to ensure that that's unique, not like a general name, right? That is number one. Let's say we come up with a very, very unique name. The second thing that I will check is whether someone else already owns. For me, it is unique because this thought has come to me for the first time. But whether somebody else has already thought like this, I would go for a trademark search. Whether anybody, something like that, a trademark already exists. So once I check these two, that's when I will start applying. So the applying is basically it's a very straightforward process. We have a particular form. We have to apply through the portal, and we have to give in the basic details. And there are multiple criteria. Some important criteria, if I can mention. Let's say I'm running the business for the past 4 5 years, or I'm going to I'm planning to use the mark going forward. We call it as proposed to be used, or I'm basically using it for the past 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, right? So that is something that also matters. And if we are making a statement of that sort, we should have the documentary evidence to prove that. And when we prove that, the chances of that is actually high.
And is it scary to talk to lawyers like you?
Sorry.
Is it a scary thing to talk to lawyers like you? Advocates are very scared. They scare us, the legal stuff. Uh,
So, unfortunately, when it comes to us, we kind of give a lot of information which scares the startups. Maybe that is the part that might look scary, but not at
let me
all.
do it later because these people charge a lot of money. I anyway don't have a lot of money. Let me save it when okay. Let me run the show for like 2 years time. Let me get famous and then I will register the trademark.
So that's what it's basically how much we value our brand that matters. When we consider that, just trying to first having a knowledge or having an awareness of saying that I need to protect my brand. That is step number one. So once I do that, what is the cost involved? What is the technical process involved? That could be a little bit scary, but whether it is worth it, 100%. And I mean, I don't see any reason to be scary because, of course, they are going to decide, they are going to kind of walk through the process. I would put it that way, and it's going to be something they can follow up, and they will now things are happening online. Once they get the application number, they can check the status every now and then. They don't have to follow up with the advocate. They are engaging. Once they get the application number, they are independent. And when I say independent, they are 100% independent. They can choose at any stage what to do, how to deal with it. And it's I think we have come out of the era of where people are clueless of what's happening, or nothing is there in the internet. I will have to go to the particular office and check who will not respond, and I will have to call my advocate 100 times, and he may choose to respond to my message or pick the call, which may or may not happen. I think those eras are over. We live in a world where we get information in no time, and even governments are coming up with a lot of online portals, and things are super transparent. And there's nothing I would say is scary or what do you say, opaque about it.
Right. I got lucky in 2019 when we started.
Hmm.
We started this Tengro Club as a simple Facebook page.
Hmm.
Now, so what is very important to understand for people who are watching this is the moment you publish about your brand, you're already exposed. I was lucky that someone did not copy or did not register for the trademark. I was lucky that they did not register for the trademark the first time they saw because the name itself was catchy. I was lucky that they did not register because if they would have registered, I would have been in such a big problem. Because now imagine the same lady who copied and who she called herself. Imagine like all the my nightmare would have been. I had just lost my dad, and she comes up. She's like that big monster, right? The big monster for any business. That hey, I own the trademark. I own the trademark. And you are defenseless, isn't it, Dheeraj? If you work so hard to build the brand and you're publishing, talking about like putting heart and soul for years together, and then this lady comes up and she say, "I own the trademark. Look at me. Stop using
Uh,
it."
let me just add a point here. See, let's say I'm dealing with the products, right? So that's a completely different scenario. I will have invoice, I will have purchase orders, I will have email communication. Let's say I will have even a domain name. But the service industry, that's very, very tricky. They will literally have no proof, right? Sometimes they may choose not to have a website. They may not have a login, right? They may not have the website, or maybe they forgot to renew the particular from GoDaddy, right? So the for them, proving it by way of an invoice or a purchase order or through any other document. Let's say it's a online a club, right? So now what if I ask for a documentation now? What can you think of? Let's say a different scenario. They have come up they somehow chose to get a trademark, and now they are saying you not to use. Now you have to prove that you have been using for the past 6 years. How would you prove it? That's a scary stage to have, and I mean, you did the right thing by acting at the right time. So that's something very very important. So for the service industry, I would suggest that they have no option unless they are ready to take that risk, or unless they are doing the business as a hobby and they are completely ready to uh, what do you say? They are not sure about the outcome, and if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, they are fine. If that is the scenario, they are free to have that risk. But this is a risk which every organization or a startup should avoid in case they have a big dreams about it.
Fantastic. Good. So, what we'll do is we'll continue this discussion tomorrow in the next episode, because I know there are so many things that we can discuss. And for people who are watching this, you might be wondering, how do I get in touch with Dheeraj? Is it okay if I share your number on screen?
Yeah, sure, sure, Kashyap. Yes.
Yeah. So this is the number of Dheeraj, and you can get in touch with him for all the trademark related issues that you might be going through, or in consulting, you can like. Okay, now I think there's an issue. Okay, so I think we're back. So yeah, so one of our client was going through a trademark issue, and I put in our group. We have a big group, and we asked who is the best person to like help us to solve these trademark issues. You'll be surprised. Not one, not two, like at least five people referred. Hey, Dheeraj is the right person. Go and talk to him. So he's a fantastic person. Just go and talk to him for your trademark related issues. If you don't have a trademark, this is the right time. There is no better time than now, because especially for people who are running any kind of an ad, any kind of a marketing, that means you're already exposed. And tomorrow, what should not happen is tomorrow you are reaping a lot of benefits of your success, and tomorrow nobody should come and say, hey, all that success, stop it, give me that all the traction. Is it possible, Dheeraj, that they might come say, hey, because I own the trademark, give me hand over the ownership of the website and the Facebook page. Can they do that?
Yeah, I would look into the case little deeper. We can't say like that, because let's say they feel that they are like someone is piggybacking on their particular brand. Yes, they can.
Yeah. So I mean, why would we want to get exposed in that in that circumstance, isn't it?
Exactly.
So yeah, today was the first episode, and we're going to like do a lot of such sessions. We're going to like do this. I'll tell you why we're doing this. Because we have gone through all the troubles, and the reason why we do this, and why this Tengro Club, or why this community, why we do this networking, is purely to make sure that we can help the founders come out of their problems and go towards their scale. Now, if you're a founder and if you're looking for opportunities to network with high quality people and get ahead from your competition, this is a place. On your screen you can see the link. I wish I could put a QR code, but you can we can all go to the simple link. It's very simple: links.tenkrolab.com/mastermind. You can go there and register for our upcoming meetup. It is happening right now in Bangalore. And if you're a person who is doing 10 crore plus turnover, we have a special meet coming up next month. And all those details will be shared with you once you log into this site. So that brings me to end of this episode. Last point about what we discussed today, Dheeraj.
Uh, Sorry, Kashyap, there was a glitch and I couldn't hear you. Can you please
Yeah.
repeat?
So to recap, like all the things that we discussed. So what is that thing that you want to people? What is that message that you want people to carry home?
Uh, the short message I would actually say is, if you are serious about your business, or it could be something like as simple as doing some social activity. Also, there are NGOs which get the brand. If you want to be recognized, and if you feel that that's going to be your identity in the future, having a brand is a small effort, time that you have to take to ensure that your identity is protected.
Fantastic. So we'll continue with this discussion. Multiple angles are there. A lot of topics that we can discuss. So we will connect tomorrow, the next episode, and we will take you to the next steps in this process. Okay. So if you're watching this, please make sure to subscribe, or if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe, like, share, comment, and be part of our community. There are a lot of links on the website. You can go to the website and join us. Okay, so thank you so much, Dheeraj, to join us today.
Thank you, Kanship, once again for the great opportunity. Pleasure. Thank you.
The next mindset is about thinking beyond, because we all think that we have limited resources.
The event was very helpful as a new player in the market. I needed to socialize and get contacts, and this really helped me. The event was perfectly organized. It made me gain a lot of knowledge, and I would like to be a part of it for the events.
What fascinated me here, being here, is like a lot of ideas we could get, which I've not seen in any other networking group or community. A lot of ideas where the pain points in our industry has been addressed by the fellow participants. That has really helped me. The people are very much friendly, and they're ready to give business and ready to help other fellow members as well.
Today is a great summit altogether. I had almost like 5 to 6 referrals instantaneously, and look at the energy of this crowd. It's really good. I would like to thank Kashyap for the special invite today and arranging such a fantabulous energy meet.
It's a great place to connect. It's a good vibe with all entrepreneurs, like-minded people, and I'm pretty sure only with networking and good collaboration, it unlocks door to things you never know existed.
I think it's fantastic. I'm not a regular at networking programs, but this one is really very good. I like the way it was organized, and it looks like there are a lot of opportunities for us to grow and learn as well as new entrepreneurs.